Hey guys, welcome back to yet another The Hallway video.
Come with me, I'm not really asking. We'll get away to a place where we don't know. About to see the world in action, what we can be, life with no distraction.
Hey guys, welcome to yet another hallway video. We absolutely love our The Hallway tribe. And if this is your first time tuning in, welcome, welcome, welcome. We are so glad that you're here. And go ahead and hit that subscribe button because you are absolutely going to love it here. So today we are going to do the continuation of our relationship journey. If you saw the last vlog, we kind of did a part one and we talked about our first date and kind of how everything unfolded. And so today we're going to take you on to, I guess, step two or part two, which would be engagement or proposal number one.
Right. Yeah, we call it proposal number one because this was kind of like the impromptu proposal where I was just, well, first of all, you may wonder why we're sitting on the floor. That has a lot to do with it, you know, what we're doing. And it's just a normal day. She was coming into the room, and I decided I would do the traditional style and get down on one knee and propose to her. And as she saw me take a knee and kind of go ahead, I guess, make a gesture, she got on both her knees because she like, oh. And she got on both her knees. I'm like, wait, I'm supposed to be lower than you. So I tried to bend down a little lower. And, of course, she ended up bending down lower, too. So somehow we both ended up laying flat on the floor. I mean, just completely stretched out on the floor, looking at each other and me having to do like this so I could be lower than her so I could ask this beautiful young lady to marry me.
Yeah, because it was kind of crazy to me. I wasn't expecting it. So we had officially been dating for a while, for, I guess, almost a year at this point. But, you know, I wasn't expecting a proposal. We had talked about marriage, but not necessarily like us getting married. We talked about, you know, if we ever thought we would get married again. If we got married, what would we want it to look like this time around? You know, those types of things, but never like we're getting married. And so it was just a shock to me. But being the fact that, you know, I was, you know, an adult woman, I, you know what a proposal looks like. As soon as I saw him making those moves, like, he's about to propose, I don't know. I wasn't ready. It was just weird. And I thought that
Made her weak.
when he got down on one knee and grabbed my hand, it was just my immediate instinct to get down on my knee too. And then he's like, that's not how this goes. So then he gets lower and I just kept getting lower. And I don't know if I was trying to stall the process, if I was trying to prepare myself. But yeah, like he said, it came to the point where we were literally both laying flat on the floor. But I love his persistence because it didn't matter how low we got.
Yeah.
He was gonna propose, and
I was determined.
So
I was determined to make it happen. So
yeah, it was funny, and of course, you know, I said yes, but he felt like, you really messed up this proposal. Like, what kind of story is this? I can't go tell the people that I proposed to you laying on the floor. Like, woman, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm so sorry. It was so funny though. We were moving like. Got lower and lower and lower, but
and part of the thing was, that's why we say the first proposal, because had ordered a ring and getting the ring made and some things like that, and it took a little while, and I just took this opportunity to let her know and propose with just a ring I had at the time. I mean, I had purchased, but while I was waiting on her real engagement ring to come in.
I got 2 engagement rings, but y'all know that part of the story later. But the thing is, this proposal came at a really I guess serious and pivotal part of our relationship. So not long before this this first proposal, Wallace had quite the health scare. So one day he calls me because he was really bad about letting me know when he was sick, when he wasn't feeling well, you know, kind of beating around the bush. So he lets me know that he has to go in for an angioplasty, and that's because prior to, he had been having some shortness of breath, could not lay down to go to sleep. He had to kind of sit up and it was just a whole ordeal. So just trying to figure out what was going on with him. Blood pressure had been through the roof. So just a lot going on. So his doctor had scheduled an angioplasty. And so he asked me if I would go with him. And of course I said I would. And so we get to the hospital and I'm sitting in the waiting room with my laptop working. And they're like, this isn't going to take very long. But we'll come out and let you know, when everything is finished and when you can see him and whatever. And a wonderful family out in the lobby had adopted me.
Yes.
They were waiting on a family member as well, and I was by myself, and they were like, hey, we're going out to lunch. Do you want to go with us? And blah, blah.
I think they were saying, just in case this don't quite work out, we got somebody we can...
And y'all, it almost didn't work out, right? So... I'm sitting in the waiting room, and again, we're not married yet. We're not even engaged yet. I mean, we were just boyfriend and girlfriend at this time. And I'm sitting out in the waiting room, and his doctor, who I had met when we first got there, and I think I had been on a couple of regular appointments with you too when we were kind of trying to work out the breathing.
No, you hadn't met him.
I hadn't met him at all. I just met him that morning.
Yet. Because
okay.
that's the story of the follow-up appointment.
Okay. Oh, yeah. So, anyway... I'm sitting there waiting for him, and the next thing you know, his doctor comes out and like, hey, I have something to tell you, but don't get upset, don't cry. Who says that? Like, I don't know what kind of bedside manner he had. He was very nice, but I'm like, that's not a good way to start. And I'm like, what's going on? And I just remember myself closing my laptop real slow and unplugging it. I don't know what I was thinking. I don't know if I was getting ready to run for the hills. I don't know what I was doing, but I just, as he's talking, I'm closing my laptop, grabbing the plug, and he's like, well, we did the angioplasty and we found out that there is a blockage, and it is a 98% blockage in the main artery to his heart that we call the Widowmaker. I'm like, excuse me? Where is he? What's going on? And I mean, he's talking slow. He's like, but he's okay. We caught it just in time. And this was in October. And so what, October 7th or 8th?
October 7th.
That. So this is in October.
Tiger's birthday.
And Wallace's brother's birthday. And he's like, I'm just so glad that y'all came in today, because if you didn't come in today, he would have been dead by Christmas. And I'm like, what? But then he reiterates, but he's fine now. He's out of surgery. I'm like, surgery? I was out here waiting for him to have a test. And he's like, oh no, we couldn't wait. We did the angioplasty. We saw the blockage. We had to get him into surgery immediately. But he's in recovery.
Yeah, they put a nice stent in.
Yes, so we had to put a stent in. And so I'm like, does he know? And he's like, well, yeah, we told him as best we could, but, he was already a little sedated from the angioplasty, and we had to rush, but, we had to do what we had to do, but he gave us permission, whatever, but, it was just as much shock to him as it is to you, but he's back there. And so that's what we went through, and it was about, a month or so later that you proposed.
Yeah, it was that long, yeah.
Right. And then, oh my gosh, the rest of the story. First of all, so when I go to recovery, he's apologizing. Like, I'm so sorry. I did not think this was going to happen. And like, if you want to leave right now and never come back.
I think maybe unless I was thinking that we come in and get these tests done, it'll probably be nothing. And we go have a nice lunch. And then I can go home and rest, from the procedure. But, it turned out to be a lot more than that. And, it is a long idea. We'll share that story in our health segment.
Yeah, because it was crazy.
Yeah,
it was crazy.
That was the start of the adventure for that procedure. And kind of extended out a couple of days because there were some other things that kind of went on.
Yeah, he had some complications. Not really complications, but yeah, we'll have to share the whole story. But I stayed.
Yeah, but all this was during the engagement, so this is all tied together. That's why this is kind of relevant.
Yes, because it wasn't long after this that the first engagement came. And so he was just so grateful and just thanking me and just like telling me, hey, if you don't want to date me anymore, I understand. This is probably a lot to take on in the very beginning of a relationship.
But we'd already been dating for a year, though. So.
We had, but the thing was, word on the street, which you had heard from my friends and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I don't do sick very well. I don't have the greatest bedside manner. And I used to always tease him because he and I are the same age. We're exactly 3 months apart. My birthday's December 9th. His is September 12th. So 12/9 and 9/12. We are both.
Which is how we found out.
Old.
Which we found out how we kind of matched that up. Was doing a hospital visit. Yeah, doing a hospital visit.
Yeah, because the nurse was like, "Oh, y'all birthdays are." Yeah, we're like, "Oh, really?" But I always tease him because he's like the pawpaw, you know what I mean? He acts like he is 20 years older than me, the way he talks, some of his phrases, and you know, so he was just kind of like, I know that you're really not into sick, and
I have
like,
allergies.
He's always, you know, and so I guess he was like, I know we kind of joke about that, but you're probably a little serious too, so if you don't really want to deal with this, do you have an alarm on?
Yeah.
Tell her to cut it out. So he just wasn't sure if I was going to want to stick around to take care of a sickly old man. And so it was so funny. And the first engagement came shortly thereafter the whole hospital episode, which I did nurse you back to health. I did pretty good.
Yes, you did. You did wonderful.
And then after that, I helped him lose almost 50 pounds. So that was great. But yeah, so that was our first engagement.
I guess I had a bad habit of, you helped me break a bad habit of only eating stuff that was passed through a drive-through window.
Oh my gosh. I mean, when we were just friends and even in the early stages of dating, it's like I would be on the phone with him during the day and we're talking and then the next thing you know, I hear and I'm like, what is that? And then he's like, oh, hold on, babe. I'll take a number 4, hold the onions, hold the tomatoes, hold the lettuce, extra cheese. And I'm like, do you eat anything that's not thrown at you through a window? And then when you do order this fast food, anything that has any possible nutritional value, you ask them to hold it, take it off.
Mm-hmm. That interferes with the taste.
So yeah, we really had to work on that. And y'all, I'm gonna tell you, it's been 10 years and it's still a struggle. He's better, but he's not cured of the fast food and the don't want any vegetables and all of that. It is definitely a work in progress and a struggle every day.
Yep.
But he's much healthier.
Yes, I am.
His medicines have been cut in half.
A lot lighter.
Yes, a lot lighter. And we have not had any more health scares since.
No, we haven't.
So, but anyway, so that was the engagement, and this is the beginning of part 2, and I guess we will have to share with y'all engagement number 2 in just a bit. So, sit tight.
About to leave, already packing. Come with me, I'm not really asking. We'll get away to a place where we don't know.
All right, guys, here we are at the famous Fort Worth Water Gardens, where the second proposal went down. It's like actually probably about a few weeks later.
Yeah,
I guess for it to go down when the ring actually came in, and I was able to make it official. It's showing the ring. It's still blinging. Still bling it up right there. Yeah, we still got that. So actually to go along and make it official.
Yeah, so he, did you pick me up from work that day? Or I had just got back from work? Whatever. But it was just like a random day. I wish I remembered what day, but I am so bad with that kind of stuff, y'all. He's much better at that than I am. But do you remember the day?
What?
That, of the proposal.
I think we just met at the department.
No, I'm saying, do you remember what day it was? No. But it was just
it was during the week, though. It was like a Monday or
but
Tuesday.
I'm saying, like, you don't remember the month and day and all that stuff. But it was just like a random weekday.
Hopefully they don't come back and hunt me on a trivia question.
Yeah, no, it could never, because I don't know either. I'm like horrible with that stuff. But it was just a random weekday after work, like 5, 6 o'clock. And he's just like, come on, I want you to go for a ride with me. You know, I want to show you something or whatever. And we come down here to Fort Worth to the Water Gardens, which that's something too. I had lived in Fort Worth for several years before I met Wallace. Hated Dallas, Fort Worth. Wanted to get back to the East Coast so bad. And actually, for my first several years of living here, that's what I did. Every chance I got, I went back home. I went back to Virginia or I went back to Pennsylvania. And so I hadn't really explored a lot in Dallas, Fort Worth. So even though I had already lived here like 10, 12 years when we met, there were so many things that I hadn't seen yet. And so the Water Gardens was one of them, because I only came downtown like to do specific things, and I went home. And so he was like, I want to show you something, and he brought me down to the Water Gardens, which is absolutely beautiful. And he got down on one knee with the ring box, and
this time she didn't lay on the ground.
I guess he figured, let me get this chick out in public and maybe she won't lay down on the ground. And he proposed to me here in front of a bunch of our favorite strangers.
Yes. What a beautiful time it was.
Yes, and people clapped, and it was really cool.
Because the ring was really blinging. I mean, it was blinging.
It was
disco balling down here.
It is wonderful. But yeah, so that's when it was kind of official, because number one, he didn't have the right ring. So y'all, I got 2 rings. So number one, he felt like I didn't have the right ring the first time, and you laid on the ground the first time. So we're going to do this again. And so
she played by the rules this time. So.
Yeah, it was awesome, and it was beautiful down here, and it wasn't a whole lot of people, but there were some people, and yeah, it was exciting. And so he made it official, and that isn't the end of our story. So the whole wedding and things like that, that's a whole different story that we'll have to continue. But once we had that second engagement is when the wheels started in motion of planning the wedding, which we had decided at that time that we were going to have a big wedding.
Right.
And so we started making all the plans, looking at the venues. We're emailing each other back and forth. Hey, check this out. Hey, check that out. But yeah, things took a turn and things changed. And just like everything else in our relationship, our wedding was not your traditional. It was traditional in a way, but very untraditional in other ways. So, we're going to keep it moving through the day, and we will get back to y'all with the wedding story here in just a little bit. But here's the Water Gardens, and here's where he put a ring on it.
Again, come with me. I'm not really asking. We'll get away to a place.
So we just had a not so pleasant eating experience, and it's really crazy when you're like hyped for something and it's like So we went to this place called Bayou Cat that I've been wanting to go to all summer, really, because they kept advertising crawfish, and I love crawfish, and so I kind of missed crawfish season, but now they have blue crabs, so I'm like, okay, let me try their blue crabs. So I get there, order my blue crabs, whatever, the ordering process. I mean, it's not like a fancy place at all. Like, what would you call it? Like, what, babe? Not even cafeteria. It's just like...
Just a place.
A hole in the wall. Well, so, but I'm fine with that.
Maybe a level above a hole in the wall, but just a place.
Maybe. But, I'm fine with that. It's whatever. It's all about the food. So, order my food, and it's one of those places where they make you do all the work, which I'm not really a fan of. So, all they do is take your order. They call your number. You got to come up and pick up your food. You take it to your table. When you're done eating, they don't come clean up. You got to, take your stuff, throw it away. That's a little irritating to me all the time. But, again, it's whatever. It's about the food. But the crazy thing is, this is a seafood place. How do you give me a half dozen blue crabs? I mean, and they sell crab legs, shrimp, whole crabs, crawfish, all of that, shellfish. And they give you no type of utensils, no gloves, no bib, like none of the junk that typically comes with seafood. So I'm like, okay. Oh, they do give you, they don't give you anything because you got to get all your own stuff, but they do supply like the trays for your shells and stuff. That's it. So I walk up front and I'm like, hey, can I get some crackers for the crabs or whatever? And so he says, okay. And he comes back out and was like, oh, I can't find any. What you mean you can't find any? I was like, okay, well, can I get some silverware, a knife, something? Oh, well, we can't just hand out knives. Like, I didn't ask for a shank. This is a restaurant. I just asked for a knife. I mean, because that's what he said. I can't just hand out knives. And I said, a butter knife? And he said, oh, okay. And then he hands me one of those packs, like the picnic packs with the napkin in it with a plastic knife, spoon. Dude, what am I going to do with that?
The cheapest utensil little set you can get.
Oh, my gosh.
One
so
with the salt and pepper in it, but this doesn't even have the salt and pepper in it.
No. So needless to say, I ate one crab while I was there. Wasn't trying to jack my nails all up. And the rest are in the back, and I'm going to warm them up. And they were ice cold. That's another thing, too. Wallace had catfish and fries and chicken, and his was pretty good. And I ordered a fried turkey wing, and it wasn't good, but I can't really blame them for that because I'm not a turkey wing fan. It just was, like, kind of interesting when I saw a whole fried turkey wing. I'm like, let me just try it. But I can't blame them for that. If you like turkey wings, it might have been fine. But my crabs were ice cold. Like I had ordered a shrimp cocktail.
Cold-blooded.
So I'm just going to take them home, put a little heat on them. And then the butter. So they charge for butter. That's another thing. How are you a seafood restaurant out here charging for butter? So they charge for butter. So I said, can I get 2 butters? They were 50 cents a piece. And then it was like that gelatin movie theater style butter. And it was cold. Yeah. Just not a good experience. But the crabs seem to be, you know, decent size. They seem to be cooked okay. So hopefully I'll still be able to enjoy them. But yeah, it's been a long time since we've had an experience like that. But, you know, just wanted to let y'all know what was going on. Because I'm not a so happy camper and I'm still starving. But, you know, it is what it is. Can't win them all.
About to leave, already packing. Come with me, I'm not really asking. We'll get away to a place where we don't know.
All right, y'all. So we had a great day, and my eyes are so red. I don't know why. I think because we've been sitting outside, and these allergies, like I'm all, oh, goodness. But anyway, I came home. I warmed up the crabs myself. I steamed them, seasoned them, got my garlic butter, and they still were just all right. They were not very meaty at all. I don't feel like I've eaten anything. I am starving because that's all I've eaten today was trying to get through those crabs. I cannot believe my eyes, y'all. This is crazy. But anyway, it is like 10 o'clock at night, and I'm super excited because we are leaving the house now, headed to the airport to pick up the baby boy, my Nunny Butters. He has been gone all summer in Boston for his internship, and he's coming home today. And it's bittersweet because he's only going to be here for 10 days before he has to head off to college. But yeah, just kind of wanted to give y'all an update on those crabs. I cannot believe my eyes. Do y'all see that? We've been sitting outside for the past couple of hours, and I look crazy. I have denied having allergies for years now, but I don't think I can deny it anymore. This is crazy, but it felt good to sit outside. It's a beautiful evening, but yeah, Wallace is already outside in the vehicle, so let me get out there so we can head to the airport.
About to leave, already packing. Come with me, I'm not really asking. We'll get away to a place where we don't know. About to see the world in action, what we can be, life with no distractions. We'll get away, this is what we waited for.
All right.
Take my hand, we'll make it somehow. We can miss out.
You got on your D-up?
I'm done living life with the lights out, die with my own doubts. Be free.
I'm so excited.
Be free.
Are you super excited?
Yeah.
How was your summer? Long? Well, that's a good thing, I guess. Before you know it, you'll be back at school. Say hi to the vlog.
Now looking back, eyes on the freeway, Bonnie and Clyde, a classic cliche.
Playoffs, baby. Yeah.
What are you talking about? So we are off Sunday morning, about to make our donut run. Thank you, son, for opening the door for me and scaring me half to death. So we are here at Doughboys. Black-owned donut shop. We've been wanting to come here for a while. We've just never made it because they're only open on the weekends and from 8 to 12. So we are finally going to get our opportunity to see what it's all about. Thank you for holding the door for me, gentlemen.
So they have live music on Sundays?
I guess so. I saw the guy leaving with the,
About to leave, already packing. Come with me, I'm not really asking. We'll get away to a place where we don't know. About to see the world in action.
All right, y'all. So we owe you the final part to our journey and how we ended up where we are today.
Right.
And so y'all have been through the whole dating process. Y'all have been through both proposals.
Right.
And so now let's just talk about the wedding. So once we were engaged, I guess we kind of decided that there was no need to have like this long engagement. Like we
Right,
were
yes.
grown.
Right, because like, this is like when you get to a certain age, you both know what you want and you know who you are, and you kind of go from there.
Right, and so it was like there was no need. We had already, known each other now going on 2 years. The whole, dating, friendship, so everything that y'all know about. So we're like, there's no need to have this long drawn out vacation, this long drawn out engagement. Hey, it's me. You want to come say hi to the vlog? Y'all know Nutty Butters is home. We picked him up last night. I'm sporting his D Up t-shirt and yeah, so now it's like in and out. Say hi to the people. Okay, yeah, I don't know what's going on anymore. Nutty Butters came in and everything just shut down. But anyway, guys, so we decided that there was no need for us to have this long engagement, big old wedding and everything. But we really didn't know how we, I guess, wanted to go about it because we have a blended family, 6 kids between us, and just a lot of friends, and I'm not from Texas, so I had a lot of friends still in Pennsylvania, a lot of friends in Virginia, and so with the whole planning the wedding process, it just got to the point where it was just like crazy, and it was like, what are we doing? Wow.
Yeah, it could be too time consuming and mentally draining and things like that, so like there's no need for a wedding, but we know what we wanted, we were where we at in our lives and things like that. Use the money to do something else with it.
Right, and we wanted to get married. We already knew that. So we're like, what's the point in planning all this and putting off getting married for possibly another year just because we're having to plan all this? So at that time, Wallace was assistant pastor at a church, and I was the choir director at that church. That we had both joined together during our whole, courtship and engagement or whatever. And so New Year's Eve was coming up because like y'all know, we, the first engagement was in the beginning of October. The second one probably the end of October, beginning of November.
Yeah.
So, New Year's Eve wasn't far away. And so we just decided that we were going to get married on New Year's Eve. And just not make it a big deal. So you preached that night.
Mm-hmm.
I directed the choir. I invited like 2 of my girlfriends to come. Our youngest son was there because he went everywhere with us because at that time he was only like, 9, I guess?
Yeah,
somewhere
like
around there. And no one at the church knew. No one knew, everybody was just at the church. We had a packed house. It was watch night service. For those of you who grew up in the church, in the Baptist church, y'all know all about watch night service. Wallace preached like normal. I directed the choir as normal. Church service, we prayed in the new year. Y'all know what that is. And then at the end, Wallace's brother-in-law, who was the pastor of the church, said, hey, if y'all aren't in a rush,
Yeah, we got a special event that we want to do tonight, and we're going to ask those 2 individuals to come forward.
Yes, and so everybody's like, what's going on? And
actually, we were the first wedding at that church.
Yes, we were the first wedding at the church, the first couple to get married at that church. And so everybody's kind of like, what's going on? And Wallace and I, you know, he comes down off the pulpit. I get up from where I was, and we stand up front, and his brother-in-law, Greg, did the ceremony. Pastor Tarkley.
First Redemption International Ministry.
We were married on January 1st, 2014 at First Redemption. And that was it. And everyone was shocked. But it was so funny because, you know, the church was packed. So it seemed like a regular wedding. You know what I mean? The church was packed. So we had plenty of guests.
So I guess we did have a big wedding. Yeah.
Yes. The church photographer was there. So we got pictures. I mean, it was fun. And then we just came back to my house at the time, now our house. Mm-hmm. And we ordered Chinese food, and I did have a cake made, but it was just like a cake topper, and it had S&W on top for Stay and Wallace. And
the next day we had, what did we order?
I don't know, we had Chinese food.
The poo-poo platter?
Yeah, we ordered like a ton of Chinese food. And it was just like me, Wallace, and Nutty Butters at the house for the reception. And that was that, but it was a great memory. I mean, I don't regret any of it. You know, it was like
it couldn't have been scripted any better. And like I said, the way things were, you know, kind of went that night and kind of laid out, you know, a word from the Lord, and you know, you go into the new year with your best friend, you know, as your wife. You know?
And it was just so funny because everybody was so shocked because we were very private, you know, especially with him being assistant pastor, and we were very involved in church and whatever. You know, we were just very private with our relationship and all that. So people knew we were really close. Some people knew we were dating. Some people knew we were engaged. But it wasn't like anything like in your face. So I think so many people were happy for us. Just like, oh my gosh, y'all make the perfect couple and whatever. But it was just like that stress-free, okay, we're getting married. And so that's what we did. So that is our story, and
sticking to it.
It's a different story. It's not your average everyday love story, but it's our story. It's my favorite story, and we're still in love, thriving every day, every single day. And so now, y'all, I think it's time to end this vlog, end this love story, because I'm hooking up my jerk chicken. I got ribs already on the grill, some Kaneka sausage, some boudin. What else is on there? Some pork chops. And I need to tend to that. So, yeah, we got some egg salad, some yams. So, we're about to tear this up. Y'all know the Butters is home. So, we're about to sit down and have us a real Sunday dinner. But y'all be on the lookout for D-Up. Y'all see this t-shirt. So, Ian is going to be coming out with his own brand soon. I will share that story with y'all as well. But that's it for this one. But we love you guys to bits and pieces. We thank you so much for tuning in each and every time. Y'all know the drill. If you haven't already subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you will not miss anything, because you're also going to hit that notification bell. So it's going to notify you every single time we drop new content. So you guys have a wonderful week. Be excellent in whatever it is that you want to do. And we will see you next time in the hallway.
Thank you, guys.